Should I skip cardio?
Um, no, it's good. First thing in the morning, fasted cardio is great for your insulin sensitivity and keeping yourself nice and healthy and primed for the nutrients you're taking on. Post workout, insulin sensitivity is really high, so cardio then can be great for that weight loss still. In general, for your cardiovascular health and your respiratory health, it's just great. There's not really any need to skip it to put weight on in an off season or a gaining phase. You can just do the cardio, get the benefits of the cardio for the heart, and then eat more food to make up for the loss. But no, you should never be skipping cardio.
How do I build muscle?
You have to break muscle to build new tissue. It's your body's response to stress, the adaptation to overcome greater and greater levels of stress. And in a hypertrophy standpoint, we're looking at overcoming greater and greater levels of contraction under weight, greater levels of resistance, contracting our muscles against more and more force. So we'd be able to do that by progressively overloading and then recovering from that stimulus. So with adequate protein intake to synthesize adequate protein and adequate sort of energy levels to actually fuel the intensity of our sessions to get those weights lifted.
How long before I will see results?
Um, Straight away, the very first session you'll see results from, but they just might not be the results that you think. But you'll have a spring in your step, you'll have lots of happy chemicals in your brain, and you should be more motivated to continue going. You know, an object in motion stays in motion. So once you do your first session, you go and you do your second session. This is now twice as easy than the first session. The second workout's easier than the first, and the third's easier, and the fourth's easier. So you'll see benefits straight away. They might not be the drastic changes in your physique that you'd expect, but really the first step is the most important, and you'll see changes right away.
How long should I be spending in the gym?
Cardio sessions probably shouldn't go over an hour, unless you're like, no, just over an hour for cardio. Wouldn't go over an hour for cardio. And then weights, it sort of depends a lot on your food timing around it, because if you're in the gym for 2 or 3 hours without getting any carbohydrates in or any food in, you're sort of not gaining anything from sessions that long. But if you need lots of time between your sets, lots of time between your exercises, lots of rest to perform optimally, these sessions can take a while. But I mean, the best way would, I'd say, in and out of the session for weightlifting, warmed up in 15 minutes, lifting after that for an hour, cooling down after that for 15 minutes. So maybe an hour and a half for a weight day, and then less than an hour for a cardio session.
How often should I exercise?
That depends how often you work a job. But if you work 5 days a week, you might be able to get 4 or 5 sessions in. If you don't work at all, you might be able to get 6 or 7 sessions in. If you work 7 days a week, you might only want 3 or 4. But it would depend on how many hours of the week you're actually doing your job, and then how many you have spare to do your work. But it would be around your sort of recovery from work and recovery from the gym, and it'd be quite dependent on how often you work. But I'd say anywhere from 4 to 5 would be the easy medium.
Can I have cheat days?
Um, some people can, some people can't. In terms of like the actual mental of it, if you really get bogged down by the idea of eating is cheating and it's ruining your progress, it's probably doing more harm than good, actually eating that food and then feeling guilty and feeling like you've had a setback. But if you're completely disconnected from it and you're not being, ludicrous with it, and it's only a few hundred calories over from a standard day, and it does you more good and makes you more adherent to a diet or an off season, I don't see why not. Me personally, I'd never bother with it, because I just see it as time that's wasted. Those are meals I could have had on plan, doing the right thing, as opposed to off plan, not doing the right thing. So for me, no. For other people, no. And for some people, yes.